Right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Connection Hangout. We are live here. Tonight is the Doctor's Connection, and we're going to be joined by special guest, Dr. Foster Malmed, in just a second. However, before we get started, I'd like to do some housekeeping. First off, my co-host, David Asarno, will not be joining us tonight. He's traveling out here to Las Vegas, so hopefully I get to see him while he's in town. Before I head to New York City this weekend for the Velocity event there in Rye Brook, Westchester, New York. Brent Brooks will be on moderating the comment thread this evening. So right beneath here the screen, if you'd like to type in your name, where you're viewing from, we'd love to hear from you. You could also type in questions. And if we don't have time to answer questions this evening, what we do on Thursday and Saturdays on our Hangout as we answer those questions. And by the way, that address is trhangout.com. Once again, trhangout.com. You can go there anytime during the week, ask questions, and we answer those live Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 on the East Coast, as well as Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. Now, this Connection Hangout, it's not a business presentation, nor is it a product presentation. What it's designed to do is to connect you to real people with real results. We interview people like corporate executives, some industry professionals, celebrities, athletes, doctors, medical professionals. Again, so you can get to know them, how they actually use ASEA in their real life and in their business and practices. And like I was mentioning, tonight we have a very special guest. It's ASEA's Triple Diamond executive, now member of the Medical Professionals Board. He's also the inaugural recipient of the Business Builder of the Year Award and has so many other ribbons and stuff on his convention badges that I can't keep track of it all. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Triple Diamond executive, Dr. Foster Malmed.
Thank you so much, Mr. ASEA, Paul, Taira. It's so great to be here, and it's great to be with you. Thanks so much for inviting me.
And thanks so much for breaking out of your presentation. I know you guys are just finishing up, or it's probably still going on behind you in another room to be with us this evening. We really appreciate that. What part of the world are you? You're in Connecticut?
Yes, we are now. We have a really nice group growing in Bethel, Connecticut. So we're in the office of a chiropractor and her partner, who's works with energy and pretty much anything that helps people heal, they do. And they decided that they were taking this ASEA product and helping themselves, and they just weren't really sharing it with anyone yet, and that was wrong. So this is our second time here, and it's just so much fun watching people getting well and hearing the stories. It was just a great night.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, first and foremost, I mentioned it in your introduction that you have been appointed to the Medical Professionals Board, and I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you very much. It's very, very exciting to be invited to be on a board that deals with this new breakthrough technology that 5 years ago I didn't even know existed.
Right on. Now, can you talk a little bit about, more specifically, what the Medical Professionals Board is, who it consists of, and sort of what your initiative is all about?
Sure. We actually just had our first call the other day. So they chose 6 of us, and our job is to take the new research, new science as it comes out, and there will be more and more research and science that comes out, I promise you. And our job is to help the company to understand sort of what these new results mean, what the new tests mean, and how it is that we can best sort of leverage it. The Medical Professionals Board is actually part of the marketing department. So our job is to take the science, boil it down, make it really easy to understand. That's probably why they put me on it. And our job is just to get it so that people can share the new science in ways that are very easy to make sense to people that we'd like to share the product with. Super.
So ASEA also announced a sort of an additional board or council, if you will. It's known as the Science Council. Can you maybe describe what their job description is, if you will, for everyone?
Sure. So they're a little different. So they're not part of the marketing department. So they are, they're an array of leaders in their field. So we have Gary Samuelson, we have Maffei, we have a dermatologist, we have a PhD, we have another PhD, and we have a woman who is brilliant and very well known in the skincare and health and beauty world. So they will take the science and they're going to really, they'll probably decide what studies get done and how they get done, and then what to release to us so that then we can figure out how to market it. So they're not going to really be interested in marketing anything. They just want to really push this science forward so that we can change the world through science.
Ah, very good. So it's a difference of you guys are more focused on how to educate, communicate, market it to the masses, and they're more kind of, if you will, on the, I don't know, more researchy, bleeding edge type of environment, not so much concerned with how to get it out to the masses. Is that accurate?
Exactly. They're more actually consultants, so they're not associates, whereas on the medical professionals board, we are all associates. So that's also a big difference, that they can be third parties.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea on the company's part, because a lot of times that separation and the attempt for us mere mortals, if you will, to try to translate something we hear at such a high level just gets all scrambled. People get tongue-tied. They don't know what they're saying. They feel they're saying things way out of their league. They're uncomfortable. And therefore, the person that they're talking with looks at them like, you don't know what you're talking about, or who are you to say that? So I think that is such a great little intermediary layer to help people properly communicate the information accurately.
Exactly. It's just, everything this company does is so smart. So to have, our physicists who stabilized it, and then a level lower is a group of consultants that will figure out what kind of research we need to head towards to validate further our science. And then another layer down, which is us who are in the field, who are using it clinically, who see the results, who know how to use the product, and then how do we get that out to the field in a very simple way. So the way I actually frame it is that people who are utilizing the product or sharing the product, this is a cellular communication product. On my iPhone 6 Plus, I don't care what's in there. I don't need to know what's in there. All I need to know is that it's going to work, and that when Paul calls me, I can answer it. It's about cellular communications, and that's all people really need to know. It's real. It works. There are no side effects. It doesn't matter who's taking it. Everybody can take the product. It's safe for everyone, and those are the things that we're going to message. Look at this new study. It proves, again, the efficacy, the safety, and that's our job, is how we can market that way.
Fantastic. So more specifically, there were some great announcements at convention, a lot of the science things, and now that we've had a little bit of time to marinate and digest a lot of it, can you speak now to some of the things maybe you've gotten even more excited about, and provide some updates on where we're at with the field in your new role here?
Well, I'll tell you, it's fascinating. Once we saw those new studies, I didn't really understand how big they would be until I had to marinate with it and sit with it for a little bit. And it makes it so much easier to get people to understand. It's like, you show them a picture and say, do you know anybody who would want results like that? Or do you know anybody who would want, I'll bet you have a slide or two that we'll get to when it's a good time for you, but it's so much easier now. The company is maturing. They're figuring out, this is how we share the idea. This is how this technology will work for you. This is what's in our bottle. We've proven again what's in our bottle. And one of the great things that came out of convention is this company, Bioagilitics, who they're the ones who certify pharmaceuticals for doctors, so they'll sell their pharmaceuticals. So it's amazing now that we have a Bioagilitics certification that we're redox signalers, so we no longer have to try to prove it. Bioagilitics did it. Their seal of approval will be on our bottles, and it's just going to make it so much easier now to say, we are redox signalers, we're the only ones with redox signalers, and here's information at this website, the redoxdoc.com, or on this tear-off sheet that's done by a third party, and this is what redox signalers will do.
Super. Super. Okay, so what are we looking at here?
Well, For some reason, I'm only looking at my picture. Let me click your picture. Oh, yeah, I think that's an arm.
It's an arm.
Okay, so that was a really cool study that none of us were expecting, and it's a pretty conservative group that we work with, and it was very refreshing to see this up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So what they proved was with our, we have only one technology, but we have two products, and when you take the total body skin care gel and you rub it on an area that you would like to see improvement in cellulite or fat content, that when you rub it for 30 to 60 seconds twice a day, after 6 weeks, what happens? So we have a picture of, that's a very different looking gluteus maximus area, including the superior hamstring, as Paul was about to explain to you.
Yeah.
But you can see a pretty huge difference. So I emphasize huge difference. So that's cellulite. Cellulite, my wife discussed this with a plastic surgeon, and she was explaining it to him, and he laughed at her and said, nothing helps cellulite. So then she showed him these pictures, and of course he took 2 tubes. Because nothing helps cellulite. So, it's like when you look at this company and you look at this product, it's like you show a before and after picture. What woman doesn't know another woman who would need this product or want this product? It's it's not fair. Women get 90% of the cellulite, men only get 10%. But look at what this does, and then for a second imagine if we can do this to make skin healthy on the outside. What about when we use the drink? What will that do for my heart and my lungs and the fat that's running around in my system? It's a really fascinating way to share this set of products. So
now, you mentioned, real quick, because you'd mentioned as far as application goes, because I thought this was a pretty important piece of information, that it's not like we've typically been using or applying to our face region, for example, where you rub it in about 12 or 10 or 15 seconds, it's already soaked in, and then people are doing the rest of their beauty regimen there. This is something where they really, to get in the deeper layers, they've got to put on a little more, right? And how long did you say it needs to soak in for?
Exactly. So it's 30 to 60 seconds. So you want to put enough on that body part that by the time you finish rubbing after 60 seconds, you're just finishing getting it all the way in. So don't be sparing. Don't be afraid to use it. There are no side effects. It's not possible. Put a glob on your hand. Put it on that body part that you want to see fat get improved. And we see, I think we have another slide about the fat lobules. But you want to rub a solid 30 to 60 seconds, rub it all the way in so that this goes down to the dermal layers and can help heal the fat lobules. I think if they click again, we have a summary. I don't have any numbers up there. There you go. So great results. So this is a 12-week study, but these pictures are only after 6 weeks. The study's only halfway done. But after only 6 weeks, our product does what no other product in the world does. So it increased elasticity by 16.5% increase. So when you talk about elasticity, you're talking about collagen and elastin. You can't increase those. You typically have always had to inject those. Now, using our product that allows the body to heal itself at the dermal level, we're getting a 16.5% increase in elasticity, and then the fat lobule length and width, that just tells us why that cellulite is looking better, because the fat that's underneath is decreasing in size. So we're getting rid of fat by just rubbing this on. And then if you go and drink the product on top of that, you're going to see amazing, amazing changes.
Wow, that's powerful. And again, there are and there's a great new document that was released by ASEA. It's a science summary, and you can see actual images, microscopy that shows these lobule lengths and how they've been shrinking and dissipating, again, in just 6 weeks into the 12-week study. they're seeing all these, amazing percentages already starting to happen. So be sure to grab one of those documents. It's 4 pages, and it really summarizes these results and even some of the before and after pictures as well. Okay,
that was a great point. And just to make a point, when we were on our medical professionals call last week, I tried to make it very clear, because this is about marketing. I think that the first set of before and after pictures that you showed will move this company much more quickly to get people to use the product, rather than the pictures of fat lobule microscopy.
Right.
I could be wrong, but I'm not.
Well, what is cool though is that because there are other, let's say, if you will, people that have had before and after, or they're using maybe liposuction or some of these other procedures, but to see what's actually being reduced at the actual lobule, or microscopically at the lobule, I think is for someone really skeptical, is great to be able to refer to.
Oh, it's amazing. It's never been done before. There's nothing like this on the planet. We're the only ones with it. And, is there a market, when you look at the obesity levels in just the United States alone, and how many people, are going to want to rub something on their thighs before they give up their Big Mac, we're going to probably see a pretty big bump in sales in this gel that's doing what nobody else could do before this. Okay, so let's talk about this, which was way more exciting for me. I don't really care a whole lot about cellulite, but I do care about the technology getting out there via cellulite. So when you rub this gel on, let's say you're trying to get rid of cellulite, what you're also doing is you're increasing blood flow by almost 50% immediately. Now, you can't do that with anything. Now, if you're a doctor, if you're a healthcare practitioner, you know nothing heals without blood. So without blood supply, things die. They don't get better, they don't heal. So we do all sorts of things to try to increase circulation, whether it's massage, whether it's medications, whether it's supplements. Now you just rub this. Now this was done on forearms. You rub this on any body part, and you are going to increase circulation. And if you just go another couple of points down, it was a fascinating progression, but by 96 hours, one more down, 55% increase in circulation. So there's not a bug bite, a sting, a scar, a cut, a burn. Nothing gets better without blood supply. And if you can increase the blood supply that carries the nutrients and the oxygen to that area by 55% in 4 days, you are going to see exactly what we're seeing all over the world, which is miraculous changes in healing capacity because we're increasing blood supply.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's like almost everything, right, is applicable when you increase blood flow to an area. That's
exactly right. So, when you think about, what kind of market, so you show a butt picture, that's a huge market. There's a lot of people who are going to want a product that does that. When you talk to men, women, doesn't matter, they're going to want more blood flow. Wherever they put this gel, they're going to get more blood flow. We're going to sell a lot of this stuff. They said at convention, acne, neuropathy, a vast array of conditions, because it doesn't matter what it is. It needs blood supply, oxygen, and nutrients, and you just rub this stuff on, and it works. So you get healthy from the outside in, and then I implore you to drink the drink, and then you will get even healthier by getting healthy from the inside out.
Fantastic, fantastic. It is. It's amazing the more and more things that are coming out. As a matter of fact, just today there was a press release on Business Wire at businesswire.com, and also ASEA. I believe they tweeted or they sent out in an email or Facebook post an actual link to this press release, but it really summarizes a lot of what we've been discussing tonight in a nationwide, or mass media, if you will, type of press release. Did you get a chance to see that, Foster?
I did not. I was busy actually seeing patients in the hospital and then coming and doing a presentation in Bethel, Connecticut, so I haven't even seen your emails.
Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, it just was released today, so I think you'd be pretty excited about that. You know, when you, I think what a lot of us are getting super excited about is the continual stream of updates and information and press releases. This is getting more penetration, especially through the social media channels. When you like those things or share those things, it keeps raising and raising the ranks and credibility and validation. So continue to do that, get the word out, get people out there educated, and you'll see it will continue to help you to build your business and provide you with a lot more credibility as we go along.
Absolutely. You know what? I have one final thought.
Okay.
So I like to use the hospital that I work in as sort of a litmus test, as a microcosm of the world. So, you know, the saying goes, at first there's doubt, and then sometimes there's violent opposition, and then there's self-evident acceptance of a new technology. So I assure you that in the hospital, I have seen more violent opposition than virtually anybody in this business. So the people who thought a chiropractor shouldn't be in a hospital in the first place, let alone a guy with a saltwater network marketing product, wasn't so good for a while, but it didn't matter. So today, the most obnoxious, vociferous, boisterous medical doctor, he's an internist, board-certified internist and cardiologist. He's about the smartest guy in the hospital, who made fun of me and didn't talk about ASEA unless there was profanity before the word and after it. I threw him out of my office 2 years ago, and yesterday he came up to me and he said, okay, I'm ready for it.
Wow.
So it took almost 5 years, and I will tell you that there were probably 100 or 200 people in the hospital who are not on the product because this one guy said no, and now he said yes.
Wow, that's
going to happen around the world. So you skeptics, exactly. We've done the research for you. Just get on this product and change your life and the life of those around you.
It is, and I commend you on your patience and persistence, and that's really what it's about, guys. In every space, I know that some people out there have said, "Well, that guy's a doctor, or she's a doctor, or an expert in this." Hey, you know, everyone, like Dr. Foster saying, they all have to go through this. And I know, too, from personal experience and having other friends that are doctors or medical professionals, of course, me not being a doctor at all, got beat up pretty bad because they're like, who are you to tell me about something health-related, right? I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. But we just keep loving them and keep just sending them information. And as they start to see it now in other spaces and they hear it, like in Dr. Foster's case from other patients around the hospital, more and more buzz starts to happen, and things will happen in its own due process and time. Just keep focusing on what you can do. You can't control what other people. Just keep focusing on what you can do, and that is to keep the search going and keep moving on, keep on keeping on. So, all right. Any other closing thoughts or comments, or as we look going down the future here, what you may, I know you're under probably some non-disclosure for what's going to happen in the future, but anything you'd like to share vision-wise?
You know, vision-wise, again, I consider my hospital is probably the most skeptical place in the world. So it's all New York doctors, and they're not out in their own practices out in the world. They're in a hospital. So they don't do anything unless the FDA tells them that they can do it. So if we can get this done in a hospital where it is just replete with skeptics and people who don't want chiropractors and they don't want nutritional products and they don't want to know about an antioxidant, but now I have surgeons using it, and now I have internists using it, and now we see that as long as you persist and know, one of our friends said, in time, truth always raises to the top. So we have truth and science. You go to pubmed.gov, where the National Institute of Health Library is, and you'll see 10, 15,000 peer-reviewed studies on what redox signaling will do. And Bioagilitics says, yep, you have redox signalers. The world will be on redox signalers, and we are just so proud and humbled and honored to be part of this mission. And thank you for all you do, Paul, for helping us with the mission.
Thanks so much, Dr. Foster. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your time again and for squeezing us in your hectic, busy schedule tonight. All right. I also want to thank Brent Brooks out there for moderating our comment thread this evening. and remind you once again that tomorrow is our Q&A session. And tomorrow, by the way, you can catch first thing in the morning, Michael Stern and Brent Brooks. They'll be doing the TRM, the Team Reactive Momentum call. First thing, it's Manage Day tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. And then again, tomorrow night, go to trhangout.com. And anytime, right now, go to trhangout.com and start typing in your questions, and we'll make sure to get those answered there live on air. Again, next week we'll make our announcement for the guests. We're trying to firm up by the end of the week for next week's Connection Hangout. So stay tuned for that, and go out and have a fantastic rest of your evening, rest of the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Good night.